I made an announcement earlier this week that you need a blanket for today's class. So if you don't have one, run and grab it. It can be any type of blanket, just one that you can roll up to place underneath your shoulder blades when you're lying down. So a blanket or even a flat pillow that you can kind of roll up under there. But go find a blanket to use. We are sticking with our heart-opening theme for the first few weeks here, of course, because it's Jahera Yoga and it's all about increasing our self-love and spreading love to others. So yeah, heart-opening, here we go. But as usual, I'll keep it gentle. I'll give you options. So if you are newer to yoga or you feel like you're at a beginner level, don't worry, I'll give you options for everything. If you are more at an intermediate level and you want to heat things up a bit more today, I will give you options as well. So just do whatever feels good for your body today, knowing that today might be very different from what your body could do yesterday or even last week. So just trust yourself, trust your body, trust your instincts, and really, really just let this be your practice. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. So you're going to take that blanket and roll it up. You back up so you can see me here. So you're just going to roll that blanket and then place it on your mat lengthwise, or I guess short across the short way on your mat, and then lie down flat so that the blanket is sticking out, kind of right out from where your armpits are. So scooch up a little bit more. Is that too much for you? Okay, so you can see how Franco's lying here. If you get on your blanket and you feel like it's too much heart opening, if you're not quite that open there yet, just unroll it a little bit and then lie back down. But just allow yourself to kind of settle in here. Get comfortable as much as you can. Know that, in chest openers and heart openers like this, especially if it's not something that you're used to practicing, there will be a little bit of a sense of discomfort. But I want to challenge you to embrace that and to stick with the pose, as long as it is discomfort and not pain that you're experiencing. If you're ever experiencing pain, get out of any pose immediately. But if it's just discomfort, something new that you've never felt before, or just pushing you a little bit beyond your comfort zone, then I challenge you to stay with it, breathe through it. So as you lie here, start to deepen your inhales and lengthen your exhales, trying to find a really nice, even breathing pattern. So maybe even putting a count, inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5, so that your breath feels very even and calm. With each inhale, notice your chest lifting more towards the ceiling, really expanding, broadening across your collarbones. And with each exhale, see if you can let your shoulders drop down towards your mat a little bit more. So I wanted to share a quote as you're lying here. So just continue focusing on your breath, those even inhales and exhales. So I chose this quote today because I realized that many people in the Jahera Yoga community are newer to yoga, and just about everyone in the Jahera Yoga community is new to my yoga practice and my style of teaching. And I wanted to share with you one of the top reasons that people practice yoga. Of course, it is a physical movement. And the practice that we're doing today is a physical movement, so many people see it as a form of exercise, a way to get your body moving, to increase your strength and flexibility, which is absolutely going to happen. That will happen naturally as you continue to practice. But another thing that yoga does for us is it allows us to be more comfortable with stillness. Very often when we are still, we feel uncomfortable. We either feel like we should be doing something, or we just get uncomfortable sitting with our own thoughts. Or we physically get uncomfortable, right? It's hard to sit still in the same position for a long time, to meditate or just really turn inwards to your thoughts. So yoga allows us to become more comfortable with that stillness, prepares us for things like meditation, turning inwards for mindset work, things like that. So I wanted to share this quote with you today. We search for happiness everywhere, but we are like Tolstoy's fabled beggar who spent his life sitting on a pot of gold, under him the entire time. Your treasure, your perfection is within you already. But to claim it, you must leave the busy commotion of the mind and abandon the desires of the ego and enter into the silence of the heart. So I love that quote, and I love that the practice of yoga prepares us for turning inwards and for stilling our bodies, slowing down our thoughts, so that we can really, really dive deep into our hearts, into our souls. So just take a couple more breaths here, lying on top of your rolled up blanket to open your chest. Again, with each inhale, you're really allowing your chest to rise and expand towards the ceiling. And with each exhale, you're allowing your shoulders to relax down towards the mat. And then slowly, one at a time, bend your knees and step the soles of your feet onto the mat. And then roll to the right side of your body. Use the strength of your hands to press yourself up, just enough to remove the blanket out from underneath of you, and then lie back down flat on your back. This time, bending both knees, hugging them into your chest, and wrapping your hands around your shins. Nice. And you can stay still here, or you can try rocking gently from side to side. Your head is still resting down on the mat. You're allowing your head and neck to rock with you. Still maintaining that slow, even breathing pattern. Keep the right knee hugging into your chest and step the left foot flat on the mat. And then take your hands behind your right thigh and slowly reach the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. So don't put too much strain on your hamstrings here if they're tight. Allow there to be a soft bend in your knee and just start to make some big circles in the air with your toes. Franco's taken a few of my classes before, so he already knew what I was going to say. And then make circles in the opposite direction. Reach up through your heel, bringing your toes down towards your body. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, slowly bend that knee, placing it flat on the mat and drawing your opposite knee in towards your chest. And again, take your hands behind your thigh and slowly reach the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. Keeping a soft bend in your knee at first so that you don't put too much strain on your hamstrings. Start to make those big circles in the air with your toes. And in the opposite direction. Reach up through your heel, bring your toes down towards your chest. Continuing to take those slow, even inhales and exhales. And on your next exhale, bend that knee, bringing the foot back down to meet the right. Draw both knees into your chest once again, and take your hands behind the backs of your thighs. This time start rocking forward and back on your spine. See if you can build enough momentum with this rocking to come all the way up. Nice. You can touch your feet down to the mat. Let me shift to the other side so you can see Franco a little better. So use your hands on the backs of your thighs to really lift your chest forward and up. Place just your toes on the mat, lifting your heels. And you'll feel this right away in your core. So draw your belly button in and up, engaging your lower abdominals so that you're supporting your low back. This might be enough for you today, so listen to your body, but if you're ready for a little bit more, you can lift both feet off the mat, squeezing your legs together, flexing your feet, keeping that chest lifting. One more big inhale, and then exhale, release your feet down. Take a big breath here, cross your legs at the center of your shins. So here, if you feel any rounding in your low back or you feel like it's hard for you to sit up straight, grab that rolled blanket that you used before and place it right under your sitting bones. Nice. And then on your next inhale, lift your arms straight up overhead, lifting through your chest, and exhale, fold forward. Allow your head and neck to relax down. Maybe even gently nod your head yes and shake your head no. And on your next inhale, slowly roll back up to a vertical seat. And then you can swing your legs out to one side and come onto your hands and knees. Moving the blanket off of your mat. So spread your fingers wide, place your hands right under your shoulders. Your knees are hip distance apart and right under your hips. So Franco, you look good. So take a big inhale here and then exhale. Press your hands down, round up into your spine. Draw your chin to your chest for cat pose. And then inhale, reach your chest forward, reach your sitting bones up and back for cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, round up into your spine, press the floor away. And inhale, reach your heart forward, stretch your sitting bones up and back. Gaze comes forward, really nice. Do a few more rounds of this on your own. This is really cool, guys. I can teach Franco by looking at him on my phone screen. Craziness. And after your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Depending on where you are on your mat, either shift your hands forward or your knees back. Tuck your toes under and lift right into downward facing dog. So for this first down dog, bend your knees deeply. You can do what Franco's doing and slowly bend one knee at a time, reaching the opposite heel down towards the mat. And then bend your knees, reach your hips up and back behind you. Reach your chest back towards your thighs. And again, remember, keep your hands pressed flush against the mat, especially that space between your thumb and pointer finger. And then take your feet as wide apart as the mat. Put a soft bend in both knees and slowly walk your hands back towards your feet. So you are coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Your feet are wide apart and parallel, and you're just letting your torso hang down. And then put a soft bend in your knees and slowly roll up to stand one vertebrae at a time. So I know the top of my head is a bit cut off here, but hopefully you can still see enough to get the most out of this practice. I think you guys can pretty much see everything. So once you get to the top, give your shoulders a few rolls up and back. Take your right ear over to your right shoulder. Roll your head forward, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Roll your head forward again, right ear to right shoulder. And one more time, left ear to left shoulder. Lift your head and come to stand at the top of your mat. So starting in Tadasana, your feet are hips distance apart and parallel with each other. Engage your quads, those big muscles on the fronts of your thighs, by drawing the skin above your kneecaps up. And then slightly lift your frontal hip points, those hip bones that stick out right here. Lift them up. Lift your chest. Drop your shoulders back. Really nice. And on your next inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up, being aware of your space. And exhale, hinging at the hip crease, fold forward. Reach your chest forward and down. Then bend your knees so that your hands can completely reach the floor. And just tilt your sitting bones up until you feel it in the backs of your thighs. You will feel it, guys, all right? So you'll know once you've gotten there. And then just let your head go. On your next inhale, slide your hands up your shins, straighten your legs back out, reaching your chest forward. Your sitting bones stretching back, looking for that extension in your spine. And then exhale, folding back down. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up. And exhale your hands to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, yep. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, reach your chest forward, sitting bones stretch back, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reach out to the sides and up, coming all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands to heart center. We'll keep flowing. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, halfway up, lengthening the spine. And exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands down on your mat, and step 1 foot at a time back to plank. Release your knees down to the mat, keeping your hips lifted. And then squeeze your elbows into your sides as you lower your torso forward and down. Nice. Point your toes back behind you. Place your hands right under your shoulders. And then I want you to hover your palms off the mat. So I don't want you to just muscle yourself up into this baby cobra, but really use the muscles along your spine and along your low back. So hover your palms off the mat just an inch or two. Inhale, reach your chest forward, and then up. And exhale, lower back down. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, hover your palms, lift your chest, press your hips down, press your feet down, and exhale, lower. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, lift up to a tabletop position on all fours, and then all the way up to downward facing dog. So again, what you're really looking for in down dog is this extension of your spine. So you see how Franco has his knees bent because his hamstrings are a bit on the tighter side. Feel free to bend your knees so that you can really press the earth away and find that long spine. It feels amazing. Take one more full breath here in your down dog. And then if they're not bent already, bend both knees, bring your gaze to the top of your mat, and take baby steps walking your way to the top of the mat, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, coming halfway up, finding that extension again in the spine, chest reaches forward, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms out to the sides and up. And exhale your hands to heart center. One more round of that. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthening your spine. And exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to plank. Inhale and plank, and then exhale, yogi's choice. You can release your knees down first if you're still building your upper body strength. Hug your elbows in and then lower your torso forward and down. Or you can do what Franco's doing. Keep your whole body in a straight line, knees up, and then lower. Press your hips down, press your feet down, hover your hands, and on your next inhale, reach your chest forward and up. Exhale, lower down, tuck your toes, press up through all fours to downward facing dog. Remember, at any time throughout this practice, child's pose is there waiting for you if you need a rest. So if you didn't watch the first class or you forget, for child's pose, if you're coming from down dog, you'll just release your knees down wide apart. Bring your big toes together to touch, and then press your hips back and down. And again, you want your head to be resting on something, so if your forehead doesn't reach the mat, stack your palms, stack your fists, so that your forehead has somewhere to rest. And then if you have joined Franco in child's pose, make your way back to downward facing dog on your next breath. Again, bend your knees, keeping your hips high. Take your gaze to the top of your mat. And you can take baby steps, or you can take bigger steps, or you can lightly hop forward. Yogi's choice. Inhale, lengthen your spine, heart reaching forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, coming all the way up to stand. And exhale your hands to heart center. Close your eyes here and just take a few breaths. Find your way back to that slow, even breath that you had at the beginning of practice. And blink your eyes open. On your next inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. And exhale, hinge forward all the way down. Inhale, lengthening your spine, heart reaching forward. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, fingertips to the mat. Step your right leg back. We're setting up for warrior one. So your right leg is back, your heel is down on the mat, and your back toes are pointing towards the front right corner of your mat. Make sure your feet are not in a straight line, but more of like they're on train tracks, a little bit apart. So move your right foot towards the knee a bit, Franco. Yep. And then inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up, lifting your torso up. Really nice. Press down firmly through the front heel and down and out through the back heel. Wrap your left hip back, right hip forward. Your hips will never be completely square to the front, but you're moving them in that direction. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders down. Nice. One more big inhale here. And then take a quick break, so straighten your front leg. And then we're going to just do a few pulses in and out of warrior one. So on your next exhale, bend back into that front knee and also bend your elbows. So you're coming into cactus arms, broadening across your chest, reaching your hands back in space. Inhale, straighten your front knee, reach your arms up. And exhale, bend that front knee, cactus arms, broadening your chest. One more, inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend that front knee, cactus arms for a second. And then reach your arms out to the sides and down, framing your front foot. Lift your back heel and step your back foot to the top of your mat, coming back to your forward fold. Inhale, lengthening your spine, coming halfway up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up. And exhale your hands to heart center. Inhale, stretch out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Really nice. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Sitting bones stretch back. And exhale, fold. Plant your fingertips down. Step your left leg back. We're doing the same sequence on the second side. So plant your heel down. Your toes are pointing towards the front left corner of your mat. Again, your feet are on those train tracks. Front toes are pointing straight forward. And then inhale your arms out to the sides and up. Pressing down firmly through your front heel. Pressing down and out through your back heel. And then reach your right hip back. Take a look at that knee. Make sure it's not caving inwards. And also that it's not forward of your front ankle. If it is, broaden your stance. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders down. And then on your next inhale, give yourself a break, straighten that front leg. And then we'll do a few rounds of that pulsating movement with breath. So on your next exhale, bend your front knee, bend your elbows, broaden your chest, reaching your elbows back. And inhale, straighten everything. Knee straightens, arms reach up. Exhale, bend your front knee, bend your elbows. Inhale, straighten your leg, reach your arms up. And one more. Exhale, bend that front knee. And then reach your arms out to the sides and down, framing your front foot. Lift your back heel. This time, step your front foot back. So, yogi's choice again. You can move through the vinyasa, which I'll talk you through. You can see Franco's doing, so you can do that, or you can lift right back to down dog, drop your knees, and take child's pose if you need a rest. And if you're moving through the vinyasa, again, you hug your elbows in, lower yourself down. On the inhale, you reach your chest forward and up for baby cobra. And then on the exhale, you press yourself back into down dog. So we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. So again, if you need a rest at any time, drop your knees, take child's pose. I'm just going to check on how much time we have. Oh, great. Doing super well on time. So on your next inhale, bend your knees, keeping your hips high. Bring your gaze to the top of the mat. Either step forward or engage your abs and lightly hop forward. Nice. Inhale, lengthen your spine, reach your chest forward. And exhale, fold. Walk back to this side. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the sides and up. And exhale your hands to heart center. Let's find our breath again. So close your eyes. You're standing up tall, your quads are engaged, your chest is lifted, shoulders are relaxing down. Come back to your breath. Find that even breathing pattern. And then blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, fingertips down. Step your right leg back. Warrior one again. So root your heel down. Back toes pointing towards the front right corner of your mat. Press down through both heels and then inhale your arms out and up for warrior one. Really nice. Remember, reach back through the left hip, forward through the right. Lift your chest. Allow your shoulders to drop down. So again, come to those cactus arms. Bend your elbows, broaden across your chest. And on your next exhale, bring your hands behind you. So you're clasping your hands behind your back. Keep a soft bend in your elbows, and then lift your chest and start to reach your chest forward. You might not come very far, and that's totally fine for today. But keep reaching your chest forward rather than down so you get that extension on your spine. Franco's looks really great. Keep reaching that front knee out towards the pinky toe side of your foot. And then inhale, rising back up. Release your hands, reaching your arms out and up. And exhale, hands reach out and down, coming to frame your front foot. Lift your back heel, step forward. Inhale halfway up, find that length. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale your hands to heart center. So we have one more side to do. Inhale, reach up. Keep your shoulders dropping down. And exhale, fold forward. Arms reach out to the sides and down. Inhale, straighten your legs. Bring your hands onto your shins. Reach your chest forward. And exhale, bend your knees, fingertips down, left leg steps back. Root that heel down. Point your back toes towards the front left corner of your mat. Find some steadiness in your legs, and then inhale your arms out and up. So your back leg should be completely straight. Nice. Then bend at the elbows, broaden your chest, cactus arms. And then reach your hands behind you, clasping your hands together again behind your back. This time take the awkward clasp. So clasp them the opposite way of whatever feels natural to you. Keep a bend in your elbows. Lift your chest. And then start to hinge forward. So back leg stays straight. Trust your legs to support you here. And then inhale, slowly coming back up, releasing your hands, reaching them out to the sides and up. And exhale, hinge forward, bring your arms out and down, back to the mat, lifting your back heel. Step your right foot back. Lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog for one breath. And then release your knees to the mat and take a child's pose. Really nicely done. Notice how your body is feeling after putting it to work a little bit, after that movement. And notice how your mind and soul and heart are feeling. Very often I find that the movement of the yoga practice allows everything else to quiet down, to slow down a bit. So if you need a few more breaths in child's pose, feel free to stay and catch up in a few minutes when you're ready. But if you're ready, press yourself up with your hands so you're coming to sit back on your heels. So tuck your toes under, yep, unless that's painful. So again, this is a great time for you to use that rolled up blanket if it's still within reach. You can place it on top of your heels and sit back on it. Just gives you a little bit more room, a little bit, makes it a little more easeful to sit back if you have tight quads. But lift your chest, draw your shoulders back again, broadening across the chest just like you did when your arms were in cactus arms. And then we're going to reach your right arm out to the side. Turn your palm to face the wall behind you, other way. And then bend at the elbow and reach that arm up your back, however far it reaches. Then reach your left arm straight up. Turn your palm to face behind you, bend at the elbow, and see where your left fingertips reach. Maybe your fingertips can grasp each other, but if not, don't force it. Just grab onto your shirt with both hands. And then lift your chest. So you're reaching that top elbow straight up, hugging it close to your ear. If you have tight shoulders, this might feel crazy to you. Oh, so Franco's using a yoga block to sit on. His leg muscles are super tight. So if you have a block or a big book or box that's sturdy or something like that, that's great for you to bring to any of these yoga practices as an extra prop. Again, it just gives you that support, that extra lift, that extra space in some of these poses. Take one more inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, release your hands, bring them back by your sides, shake out your shoulders a bit. And then we'll do the second side. So Franco doesn't have much space, so why don't you spin around to face out. So this time reaching your left arm out to the side. Turn your palm to face back. Bend at the elbow, reaching that palm up your back. Right arm reaches straight up. Turn the palm to face the wall behind you. Bend at the elbow. See if they reach. If they don't, just grab your shirt. Lift your chest. Deep breaths. Again, if this is slightly uncomfortable, try to breathe with it. Just take deep breaths. See if you can stay for one more breath. But if it's painful, release your arms. And on your next exhale, release your hands, bring them back down by your sides, shake your shoulders out. Franco, you can turn around to face the way you were facing. Let me check our time real quick here. Okay, so you can move the blanket or the block out of your way and reach your hands to the top of your mat, tuck your toes under, and come up to downward facing dog. One last down dog, so really stretch that spine out, bend your knees, reach your hips up and back towards the wall behind you. Nice, and then release your knees down to the mat. And now you're going to lie down on your stomach. So just walk your arms forward, stretch your legs back. I think you guys can still see all of Franco, which is awesome. So then reach your arms back by your sides, palms facing down. And one at a time, lift your leg and reach your toes back, almost as if you're trying to stretch out your own leg, and then place that foot back down. Lift the other leg, stretch your toes back, place the foot back down. So we'll do a few rounds of locust here, which is one of my favorites. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat. So your toes are pointing back, tops of your feet are flat on the mat. Press them down firmly so your knees lift up, and then press your hips and pelvis into the mat. So you should feel some lengthening in your low back when you do that. Press your palms down, spread your fingers wide. You can take your hands a little bit farther away from your hips. And then on your next inhale, lift your chest, reach it forward and up. Really nice. Lift your arms, reach your fingertips back, and then exhale, lower yourself back down. Rest on a cheek. Back bends are really great physically because they open your chest, they strengthen your back. but they also do wonders for opening your heart, for breaking open some of that hard shell we often build up, and just really allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to be open. So we'll do another round with hands reaching back, set up the same exact way. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat, press your hips down, press your palms down, and then on an inhale, lift your chest, reach it forward and up. Lift your hands, stretch your fingertips back, and this time lift your feet, reach your toes back. And on your next exhale, release everything down and rest on your opposite cheek. So feel free to do either of those two options with your arms reaching back, either keeping your feet pressing into the earth or reaching your arms back, reaching your feet back, lifting them up. Or you can try option 3 if those felt pretty good for you, and that is to reach your arms forward. So you'll reach your arms forward, palms will face each other. Pinky side of your hands are on the mat or on the ground. And then press the tops of your feet down, press your hips down. And on your inhale, you're going to lift everything up. So lift your chest, lift your hands, lift your toes, really nice. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. And then exhale, release. Nice job. So take your knees wide apart on your mat and then bend at the knees, reaching your feet up towards the ceiling. Franco doesn't have a lot of space here. Hopefully you have more space at home, but I just want you to start to kind of windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Kind of counterbalance that back bend practice that we just did. And then reach your feet straight back. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And slowly press yourself up onto your hands and knees. And then we're going to come to sit with your legs stretched out in front of you. Again, if you have that blanket, now's another great time to use it. Just to heighten your hips. Make it a little bit easier on your hamstrings. So if you have that blanket, place it under your hips like Franca did. And then stretch your legs out. Sit up nice and tall. And then relax your right leg out to the side. Take your right hand behind your right knee. Draw that foot in towards you, placing the sole of your right foot onto your inner left thigh. Place your hands by your hips. Inhale, lift tall through your chest. Bring your hands to frame your left knee. Keeping your chest lifted, start to walk yourself forward. So keep your foot active, toes reaching straight up, reaching forward through the heel. And walk forward until you can't anymore. Your hamstrings will tell you when that happens. And then just let your whole body relax down. Let your head go, let your upper back round forward. So your whole upper body is relaxing, but your leg is staying active. So keep flexing that foot, pointing your front toes straight up towards the ceiling. Then staying in your fold, you're going to take your left hand out towards the left a little bit, maybe just one hand width over. Press your left hand down into the mat, and then reach your right arm out to the side and up, curling your chest open. Broadening across your chest. You can even reach that top arm straight towards the front of your mat and look up under your top arm. If that feels uncomfortable on your neck, look down at your left hand. And then on your next inhale, use that top arm to pull yourself back up. Help your right knee back up, extend your right leg. And we'll do the second side. So sitting up nice and tall, flexing both feet. Relax your left leg. Take your hand behind your left knee, draw it in towards you. And place the sole of your left foot on your inner right thigh. Flex that right foot, toes and knee point straight up. Bring your fingertips by your sides, lift your chest. Then bring your fingertips to frame your front knee, keeping your chest lifted. Slowly walk yourself into the fold. And again, once your hamstring on your right leg tells you to stop, stop. And allow your upper back to round, relax your head and neck down. Take a few breaths here. And then once again, take your right hand out to the right a little bit. On your next inhale, reach your left arm out to the side and up. First reaching it straight up, getting really broad across your chest. And then you can turn your palm to face down and reach that top arm overhead towards the front of your mat. Take a peek at your right toes. Make sure they're still pointing up. That foot is still flexed. And on your next inhale, use your top arm to pull yourself back up to a vertical spine. Help your left knee up. Extend both legs. We'll do one more forward fold. So flex both feet. Press your fingertips down. Lift your chest. And then inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. And exhale, hinge forward. Let this be a relaxing fold, so just let your hands drop wherever they can reach. Let your head and neck relax down. Slowly shake your head no. And nod your head yes. And on your next inhale, slowly roll back up. Bend your knees, placing your feet flat on the mat. You can move the blanket out from under you if you have one there. And come to lie on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. You can stay still here or rock from side to side. And then extend both legs straight out. Extend your arms out by your sides, palms facing up. If you still have that rolled blanket, you can place it under your knees. Give your low back a bit of relief since we did a good amount of back bends today. So preparing for Shavasana. the final resting pose, and for many people, the hardest pose in the class. Allowing ourselves to be still, allowing ourselves to rest and to take time to turn inwards can often be really challenging. So enjoy these next few minutes. Don't worry about anything. I've got an eye on the time for you, so you won't be late if you have something else you're going to after this. Start at the top of your head and slowly scan down your entire body, releasing any tension that's remaining, letting your whole body become very heavy in the mat beneath you. And I want to read that quote one more time that we started our practice with. We search for happiness everywhere, but we are like Tolstoy's fabled beggar who spent his life sitting on a pot of gold, under him the whole time. Your treasure, your perfection is within you already. But to claim it, you must leave the busy commotion of the mind and abandon the desires of the ego and enter into the silence of the heart. If you're being distracted by your mind or by different thoughts, bring your focus back to your breath. Feel free to stay here in Shavasana for as long as you would like. But once you're ready to come out, start by taking a few deeper breaths. And then bring some small movements into your fingers and toes. Being aware of the space around you. On your next inhale, slowly reach your arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Reach down through your toes. Really stretch it out. And then exhale, let everything go. One at a time, step your feet up onto the mat. And then slowly roll to your right side, resting your head on your upper right arm. And And then use the strength of your arms to slowly press yourself up, coming to a comfortable seated position. And once you get there, lift your chest, close your eyes, and bring your hands to a prayer in front of your heart. Trust that that treasure is within you already, and trust that this practice will help you to find it. Take a minute and express gratitude to yourself for taking this time out of your day for you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed that practice. Again, please send me some feedback in the comments. Let me know how you liked seeing a live student in the class. That won't always be an option, but when it is, I can make that happen if you enjoyed that, or let me know if you liked it last week better with me doing the practice as I taught. But either way, I hope you enjoyed. Next week, our first Jahera Yoga ambassador, Megan, will be teaching the class. I'm super, super excited. You all are going to absolutely love her. She's an incredible teacher. Her class will be Thursday at 8 a.m. next week, and we'll announce that again in the group to remind you. So I hope you'll all be able to make that. See you soon. Much love.